Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Commanders, Eagles pulling away in NFC East. As the chase for the NFC East division title nears the halfway mark, two teams are starting to separate themselves. Sadly, neither of them are the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is now 2 games in the loss column, behind both the Eagles and the Commanders. Washington pulled off a miracle win on Sunday on the last play of the game. The Eagles are getting healthy on offense and will keep the heat on Dan Quinn's team the rest of the way. In the meantime, the Cowboys are likely only going to stay out of last place in the division thanks to the Giants. Here's how the 8th week of the season played out in the NFC East. It isn't time to panic yet, but after Sunday night's 30-24 loss to San Francisco, it may be time to be deeply concerned. Yes, Dallas is just 3-4 and could still get hot and make a run. Yes, Sydney Sweeney could also call me up and ask me to be her new boy toy. Both are statistically possible. Neither of those events are even remotely likely to occur. Although the Sweeney scenario is more likely by a few percentage points. Dallas played a nearly flawless first half, aside from Dak Prescott's ill-advised heave-it-up-and-pray pass that was picked off. They still only led by 4 points at the break. Then they took the third quarter off, got the brakes beat off of them, and came up short in a furious end-of-the-game rally. Cowboys news, CeeDee Lamb discusses Dak Prescott's interceptions. It was after the bye week last year when the Prescott to Lamb connection really heated up, but this time it was desperate fourth-quarter touchdowns in another loss. "We're about to get this thing rolling, for sure," Lamb told reporters post-game. "We gotta maintain the momentum, we can't really go out too up and down." The Cowboys' offense has gone through growing pains, as the team still lacks a solid run game and the pass protection up front is a huge concern. Additionally, Dak Prescott is not playing top-tier football. Sunday's 2-interception performance, he raised his season total to 8. He had 9 in all of the 2023 season. Lamb was asked about the quarterback's turnovers, providing a candid response in which he admitted some of it is on Dak while some of it is on the receivers for not being physical. "It's some things that we can't control, some things that we can," Lamb said. "As for him, I know he can do better and have a better read. And for us, we can have better routes, fight at the top of the routes. There are plenty of ways you can avoid an interception, you know what I'm saying? And on both parties. I know he can vouch for that, but as for us, I can only speak for us, and we have to be more physical at the top of the route." Lamb's reaction goes hand in hand with Troy Aikman's recent criticisms of the offense, when he stated the Cowboys' receivers had to be more physical with their route running. Dak Prescott has thrown 2 interceptions in 3 straight games. Prescott was quick to take personal responsibility for the miscues. "I don't have to be perfect," he said in his post-game press conference, "but I damn sure can't be having the turnovers." Winning the turnover battle was a huge, blinking light for head coach Mike McCarthy during the team's bye week. Dallas came into Sunday night's contest with a -6 differential in the category. After Prescott's 2 giveaways in Santa Clara, the Cowboys are -8, only the Raiders and Titans, 3 combined wins this season, are worse. Good teams simply aren't bad in that stat. "We put ourselves behind in the turnover battle, and that's on me," Prescott said. "Can't have that if we plan to win games, and I've got to clean that up, period." The Cowboys' late comeback attempt had a similar feel to the Ravens' game, masking how much better their opponent really was for much of the game. Nobody, including the 49ers, saw that fourth-quarter comeback coming. And that's really why it happened. San Francisco was already in prevent mode and clearly stopped taking the Cowboys seriously. The proven All-Pro connection between QB Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb took advantage of the complacency, and suddenly the 49ers looked like Apollo Creed in the first round of his first fight with Rocky. But don't be fooled by what Dallas nearly accomplished, because most opponents aren't going to make that same mistake. Beating up the Cowboys is old hat for the 49ers, and they have every reason to not respect us. It only took them one quarter of competent football to turn the game into another laugher. When they got up 27-10, they just got sleepy and bored. The issues that have plagued the Cowboys all season were still there on the final drive. Mike McCarthy's unimaginative offensive scheme left bad options for Prescott, who threw 4 straight incompletions to kill the comeback. While he did throw a dime to Cavonde Turpin on one attempt, putting the game on Turpin's suspect hands was hardly the optimal design. This game was much more about the hole that Dallas found themselves in than merely climbing out of it. How sad is it that Ezekiel Elliott averaging 3.4 yards per carry felt like progress? Watching rookie RB Isaac Guerendo rip off 85 yards after Jordan Mason's injury rubbed salt in the wound, another guy the Cowboys missed out on in the 2024 draft. And even as the passing game found some redemption near the end, Prescott's crushing interceptions when the 49ers were still playing defense were more damning. Worst of all, this wasn't even your typical NFC-leading San Francisco team. They're only 4-4 now after beating Dallas, battling their own issues and injuries. Panthers predicted to send Diontae Jhonson to NFC East contender at NFL trade deadline. The Carolina Panthers don't have much to play for the rest of the season. There's good cause to give young players time to develop, but they won't be in the playoffs. That means the best way this team can improve between now and the beginning of free agency in March is by trading the assets that they have to teams who still have a shot at a postseason run. One team that could use an infusion of firepower at wide receiver is the Dallas Cowboys, who have started off the season 3-3. Josh Edwards at CBS Sports came up with a trade scenario where they land a WR2 behind CeeDee Lamb via Carolina. By all accounts, Dallas' season has been disappointing thus far. Still, the Cowboys are .500 with an opportunity to make an impact in the NFC. Brandon Cooks is likely to be out a bit longer, and there had already been a need for another pass catcher opposite CeeDee Lamb. Carolina's outlook is bleak, and there is no long-term gain to holding on to assets valued elsewhere. It makes a lot of sense, but why stop there? Including Adam Thielen in the deal would give Dallas a vastly improved receiver room and the Panthers another day 3 draft pick. The Cowboys also desperately need help at running back, and Carolina is as loaded there as any NFL team. Sending Miles Sanders could net another one, let's call it a 4th for Jhonson, a 5th for Thielen and a 6th for Sanders. That's a big load of draft capital that can be used to reshape this roster into something younger and hopefully more competitive. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Diontae Johnson? Leave your opinion in the comments.